They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Another disaster, man. Get on in here. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Man. So many different elements of this game that just was disastrous. This was maybe the worst case scenario that could have happened to us today, man. We gonna talk about it. Get on in here. All right. I see y'all. All right, man, we're going to have this conversation. We're going to talk about this loss, man. The Philadelphia Eagles 38 and our beloved New York Football Giants 20. Let's let this intro play, and then, of course, we going to get into it, man. Let's go.
I felt there was no better athlete on that field than me. I was the best athlete on the field, and in order to win, you have to beat me. If you can't beat me, then you can't win.
I tell you right now, you know everybody gonna watch this ass whoop my put on you, right?
It's your guy who is never lying. Sometimes the fun. It's a key way to shine.
Both feet down on the ground, and then it came out of the pile. This ball's thrown, and Tyree, that may be the greatest catch I've ever seen. And he lobs it, Burris alone, touchdown New York.
All right, let's get a quick rundown real quick, man, before we get into what we need to get into, man. Shout out to Omega Supreme, who was in the building, says, oh, well, another giant disaster. That is literally what today was, a giant disaster, for sure. And I mean in all facets. In every which way that you could imagine, it was a giant disaster. Money Mike says, back to regular schedule programming. Yes, sir. When all of the hype and all of the shine is not surrounding this team and you get back to regular schedule programming, hopefully the fog on a lot of people's glasses, man, are clearing up and you get to see what's what, especially with this coaching staff. H-Town says, clean house. Fire everyone. No need to talk about it. No reason to keep this going. Complete dumpster juice with incompetent leadership. No situational awareness. Forget refs and injuries. Staff is the worst. Nah, I ain't going to forget the refs. I agree with you, though. But nah, we ain't going to forget the refs. I'm definitely want to talk about these refs. Mosley is in the building. Shout out to my guy, Mosley. I see you.
Fee-Fi-Fo-FUMM.
Big task at hand is in the building. Says, damn it, man. Yeah. That is a fact, man. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm a little numb to the shit. It's hard for me to be overly mad. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm still not frustrated, because I am, but it's hard for me to be overly mad, man, when you know what's what, man. You know what's what. I want to start here before I get into anything. I see my guy King Jers actually beating me to it. Says that Scatterbo injury changed Giants' mental. First off, man, New York Giants salute to Cam Skedaddle. Lord knows we couldn't afford a loss like that, especially the type of injury that he sustained. Terrible. I do want to shout out Eagle fans. The standing ovation was respectable. It was a class act. And that just goes to show what people see, man, when you see that the game is being played in a certain manner. The game is being played with all heart. And even the Eagles can respect that from Cam Scatterbo. You know, people say that the Giants, we cursed. And I can't even argue it, because it for damn sure seems as such. You know, if Malik Neighbors wasn't enough to suffer, you know, the core to who we are, not just on the offensive side of the ball, but who we are as a team. For Cam Scatterbo, man, to now be facing a season-ending injury, this just added on top of this divisional loss. Make no mistake about it, the Philadelphia Eagles came into this game like we all expected. They was coming back for blood, and we got fucked up in more than one sense. But before I actually get into that, man, I do want to just speak about these refs. I do have to speak about these refs. And I'm not anyone who's been tuned in to me. You know, anyone who knows. I don't, you know, always look for an out in a loss. You know, unfortunately, being a Giants fan, I've been, you know, real good at at losing and answering to losses. And this is the worst shit I've seen in quite some time, if not ever, man. These refs were absolutely terrible. And if you know, like I know, you know that football, man, is a game of runs and it's a game of momentum. And so it's hard for me to sit here and just watch the bullshit. Everybody's going to, you know, sit here and crown the Eagles and act like this game went a lot differently than it was. But to be honest with you, the momentum was completely stripped away from us. And these refs need to be investigated ASAP or fined. And I'm not really trying to argue with anybody who sees it differently, man, because you can't argue this shit. These refs did a terrible job, and there's a laundry list of shit that we could speak about when it comes to these refs. The tush push should be banned. And this is coming from somebody, and if you don't believe me, go to our last live stream where we had the NFC East Soldier conversation. And we have a representative from each for each team in the division. And I was the one saying that the tush push shouldn't be banned, because I was in the train of thought that at the end of the day, just stop it. Don't complain about it. That was my stance. So no one can say that I'm just like, you know, crying about shit, or I'm just whatever it is. No, my stance was that. I was actually defending the shit. But the truth of the matter is, man, if the refs do not know how to do their job, if they do not know how to officiate the tush push, then it does not need to be a play. And I'm not even just talking about this game. I mean, let's go back to our first matchup when we played the Eagles. It was a clear false start, and it was in 4K. The announcers seen it. We all seen it. It was put in slow motion. It was a false start, and there was no call. No call. Why? The world will never know. And so then you translate that into this game. There is nothing that you could say to defend the shit, but it was a clear fumble. And you cannot look me in my face and tell me with a football mind that that fumble wouldn't have been a momentum changer and it wouldn't have been something that changes the trajectory of how the game was headed. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. That would have been huge. That would have been huge, and I'm not asking for any handouts. I'm asking for a fair shot at this shit. I don't go to refs and look for itty bitty little calls. Y'all know I don't rock like that. But you can't tell me that was forward progress and no whistle was being fucking blown. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. And there has to be some type of answers to this, man, because this shit is becoming unwatchable. It really is. There has to be a fine. There has to be some type of investigation, something. Especially in the world we live in when it comes to sports and all this betting shit. It was terrible. The tush push, unless it can be well officiated, it does not need to be a plan that is consistently ran. That is ran, period. If you can't officiate the shit, then it should not be a play. And this is absolutely terrible. And I'm not even shooting at the Eagles. I'm shooting at the refs. But that's not even where it is. You're calling these tic-tac bullshit ass calls, fake ass block in the back by Wan'Dale Robinson, where the guy is already falling down. And these are at points in times that are critical. These are not just little itty bitty calls. No, these are like critical periods of the game. These are momentum shifting times of the game where the refs have stepped in and just completely just stripped us away from anything that we were trying to get. I'm going to defend Corey Black here. Corey Black finally got some action. His first thing of action. And although, I'm going to get on Corey Black in just a second, but even that pass interference that was 3rd and 15, again, another critical moment in time in the game. Terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Terrible. And then just to top it off, if it wasn't enough, you have Darius Slayton who gets a touchdown, and you see an offensive pass interference on some shit that is happening each and every single week, each and every single game by so many different receivers. And they're fighting for the ball, and there was no clear indication that should have been a call. Darius Slayton was getting his hand held. And for the refs to have that goal, to have the audacity, man, to ref a game like this one, man, was crazy to me, man. Absolutely crazy. So the media, they're going to crown the Eagles. They're going to talk about, Saquon Barkley's performance and Bigsby's performance and how the Eagles, respond to the primetime loss. But these refs gave us no chance, man. And if you would have asked me if there was a chance that the Giants could beat the Eagles on top of the refs, then it wouldn't have been no point of even watching it. It wouldn't have been even no point of watching it. So I'm not going to sit here and ignore the fact that, I didn't see what I seen. But outside of that, we could get into some things that actually happened. Like the first play of the drive. I mean, the first drive of the game, excuse me. Saquon Barkley breaks for one. Why? Because you could see the lack of physicality on the defensive side of the ball. And you could also see, and really, us being exposed at the linebacker position. Both Bobby Okereke and Marceau looked terrible. Looked absolutely terrible, man. Playing soft as shit. Pursuits is trash. And they got exposed, man. Exposed. And then, of course, you have Coach Shane Bowen, who's not going to help us out. You have Coach Shane Bowen, who's not going to put us in a position to defend the run. And these are consistent problems, ladies and gentlemen. This is like a broken record. I'm saying some of the same shit that I've been saying for the past couple years. But this is the coaching staff that y'all want. Okay, now we'll get into that. We'll get into that. It's absolutely terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Theo Johnson with another drop, and this shit is happening each and every week at this point. It honestly, man, it is so sad that it is funny. Theo Johnson gives us one important big drop a game, man. And honestly, it's to the point that Theo Johnson makes me appreciate Evan Ingram, the way he's out there dropping the ball. This shit is sad, man. This shit is sad. I really want to know why Thomas Fidone isn't getting his reps. I really want to, like, Daniel Bellinger should be getting those plays designed for him. Because one thing we know about Belly is he's catching that shit. He's catching that shit. And so, all in all, man, there's personnel issues that, yes, that deserves this criticism. But for everybody who, and I see my man in the comments, we're going to get to these comments in a second. But the answer isn't about trading away, key players. And that's my frustration, man. That's my big frustration with all this shit. Is y'all willing to trade away guys like Tibbs? Y'all willing to trade away guys like Dex? Y'all willing to trade away everybody but this fucking coaching staff? How many times are y'all going to look for other areas outside of this coaching staff, man? I mean, y'all tell me. Y'all tell me. And y'all keep telling me about the development of Jackson Dart. Y'all keep telling me that Coach Brian Dable is just doing oh so good with the development of Jackson Dart. Instead of really seeing and understanding and realizing that, you know what, Jackson Dart has just been playing above the X's and O's. And he's been making things happen. But as far as the development is concerned, Where? Because this is another fucking game where I gotta watch us get a delay a game when we don't need to. And you want to talk about development? This is another game where I see Jackson Dart turning over the fucking ball. You want to talk about development? Where are these conversations that need to be had with Jackson Dart saying live to see another day? If it's not there, it's just not there. Throw the ball away. Oh, but excuse the fuck out of me, because anytime that I say anything, anytime that I criticize a little bit about Jackson Dart, I'm looked at as the negative guy. I'm looked at as somebody who's the crazy man. And I even bring up the film to even show you what I'm looking at and how I see the game. And instead, I got a bunch of pom-pom Giant fans who ignore the obvious shit and still want to go Coach Dable, go Jackson Dart. Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. I already said Jackson Dart is, I believe, is our QB. Jackson Dart, I believe, will find success without Coach Dable's ass. But I'll be damned if I watch a game like I just watched and sit here and be like, oh, I'm not going to criticize our QB1. Go, before I even do anything else, before I push out another video, and I'm not trying to force y'all to go watch a video of mine, but just for y'all to get a good understanding on where I'm coming from, go watch the All-22 that I had in the Bronco game. Just go watch it. Just go watch it. Some of the same shit that I brought up in that film study is the same shit that has been going on. And y'all want to talk to me about development. Well, Jackson Dart, instead of making plays with his legs, what did we see today? He had a clear lane to go make a push for the first down. And instead, he's just looking down the field. He's being held back with that train of thought, thinking like that. He's being held back. Why is the coach not telling him, listen, don't be afraid to take off. Don't be afraid to go. You have the ability to do so. Go make plays with your legs. You don't got to force a throw. If the first down is given, I mean, look at what happened today. Look at Hurts. Look at Hurts. If Hurts doesn't see it down the field, he goes. And you can't tell me that shit isn't effective. Just go. And y'all want to talk to me about, oh, so much development. So much development. Again, this coaching staff ain't it, man. And I can't believe y'all fall for some of this bullshit that they've been trying to spill out to y'all, man. Oh, man, we need to keep Coach Dable to help with the continuous development of Jackson Dart. Are you fucking kidding me? So forget about the rest of the team. Forget about the fact that we're going through the same shit with an even better roster. We're going through the same shit, same type of product on the field, same type of soft shit, same everything. Same everything. Forget that fact. But no, we look better offensively, so that should be good enough for us to continue on with things. We can't win fucking games, but we look better offensively. The bar is so fucking low. The bar is so low. That's where we are different. That's where we are different. Because y'all be satisfied with shit that is supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. I want wins. I don't care about these small-ass moral victories and these small-ass momentum shits that be happening throughout the game. If they don't result to wins, I'm not respecting it. It would be a whole different story if Coach Dable was out here racking up wins. You would not hear me say anything like this. We wouldn't be having these type of conversations. But what we've seen today is exactly what I feared. It's exactly what I said about the video that I put up prior to this game. There's only but so many hard losses that a team can take, man. There's only so many hard losses that a team can take. After a certain point, that hunger isn't going to be there like it once was. At a certain point, that fire that is lit isn't going to burn the same. And that's what we are seeing. Now this is where the season could start heading down in the dirt. Because not only are we losing, not only are we losing in ways that we could possibly prevent, we're losing players. Now we dealing with the injury bug. And guess what? We have a late bye. We have a late bye. So now guys that we haven't even been talking about all year, we haven't even been thinking about, they're going to be guys that you're going to have to rely on now. Corey Black. That's what it's come to. We was getting banged up all left and right. And the glue that we have once had about this team is starting to lose its stick. That's where we are at. Fucking pitiful, man. Pitiful. I see y'all in these comments, man. Let's get to it. My man King Devin 16 says the refs was paid hefty before the game by Philly's owner because that fumble and Slayton's TD catch not going our way was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And some shit needs to be investigated ASAP, man. Some shit needs to be investigated ASAP. A lot of times I be ignoring Coach Dable's antics on the sideline, but that shit was definitely warranted, man. He's better than me. He's better than me because I don't want to push no violence, but, I mean, some of these refs deserve to get punched in their jaw. Punched in their jaw. My man CFA is in the building, man. Said this game was straight up ass, bro. These refs was in their pockets banning. That's a fact. Terrible, man. I was better off getting a nap before work watching this shit. My man Dead and Shelton in the building says TP Zebra Squad was killing us. Real talk. I think it's time to trade Dex. We can't do that. We can't do that. We trade Dex for what? We do that. We trade Dex and ain't shit gonna change but a different toilet. We gotta quiet down these trade rumors and wanting to trade because that's not where the answer lies, y'all. That's not where the answer lies. There's guys on this team that are tradable. But someone like Dex, he's not tradable. He's not tradable. Christopher Moody says the fumble play is when I knew we lost. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I already put on X/Twitter. I already said, I was like, okay, I see what type of game this is going to be. CFA says, and we stopped it, but the refs played us, referring to the fumble. That's a fact. That's a fact. My man H-Town says, Sheagles play like a team that knows AJ is out the door. Yes, and that is definitely a hit dog hollering over there. Shit, I wish we could be like our ops and make a move to get somebody like AJ. I wish. Dead and Shelter says they straight cheated on a no fumble call. Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Let me scroll down and see if I could catch up here. Solving a race problem says, looked like varsity versus JV. This is what we all thought the first game would look like too. Best believe it. Best believe it. I mean, but I will say the difference between this ass whooping and previous ass whoopings, it wasn't a situation where I felt like we just didn't belong on the field with these dudes, man. Like, we got our ass whooped. No sugarcoating that. But injuries, refs, and then, you also have, coaching. You have these factors that also just say to me, it's hard for us to look good when we're going against that. It's hard for us to do that. And even in then, I was surprised that we was in the game for as long as we were. I really was. Corey Johnson says, refs saved the Eagles' offense, especially with that BS no call clearly when it was clearly a fumble. Absolutely terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Christopher Moody says Theo dropping a dot. Man. H-Town says Bowen needs to be fired. Empty the house, man. Empty the house. Solving the race problem says Nubin is the worst starter on defense. Oh my God, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, because Nubin, I ain't gonna hold you. And I try to give it to the benefit of the doubt because I've heard people, bringing up Nubin, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna really watch Nubin. I'm gonna watch Nubin before I, over criticize anything. And yeah, Nubin, man, has been looking like a hot pack of ass, man. Honestly, he's been a disappointment for me, man. Let me see. Solving the race problem also says, am I the only one that thinks Abdul Carter isn't as good as everybody says he is? Bro was getting his lunch money stole all game. I always say this quote, man. Jadakiss once said, man, it just all depends on who's rating him. It all depends on who's rating him. I had my opinion of him in the offseason. Before we even drafted him, when everybody was pushing, get Abdul. And I didn't think that he was the pick. Then I started to see more of him in the offseason and at practices, OTAs, and so forth and so on. And I started to see tangibles that look different. And so I do believe, man, if Abdul Carter is coached up and he just brushes up on things, I'm giving him some leeway because this is his rookie campaign. I do think that Abdul Carter is still going to be a force for sure. But as good as everybody says he is, again, it just all depends on who's rating him. It do. Exhibit A as to why, though. Not to keep going back on things, but as to why you never let anybody touch LT's number. And this is no shot to Abdul. This is just a respect thing. Money Mike says, before the season, I thought our defense would be way better than what they have been this season. I mean, to be honest with you, our defense has not been terrible, and our defense has really shown signs of being elite, if you really want to be honest with you. Like, even when we think about the Bronco game, right? They were on donuts for all 3 quarters of the game. All 3 quarters of the game, they had 0 points. And there's other games where you could say, like, you know what? The defense, stepped up in big moments. But that's also where the frustration with Coach Shane Bowen is, because we haven't been coached to the best of our ability either. And I think our talent kind of overshadows certain things, but I don't think that we have been coached to the best of our ability. So you're not wrong for thinking about, our defense in the fashion that you were, because I was definitely thinking the same. But when you watch the film and you start seeing the positions that they are put in, and then on top of that, you have to factor in the injuries, especially this game. The injuries also was another thing that just pretty much gave us no shot in this. But yeah, all of these things start to add up. H-Town says, Dable just isn't a leader of men. And that's my point exactly. If you want to give him credit for drafting Jackson Dart, give him credit. If you want to give him credit for, I guess, being an offensive mind, I don't see it that way, but whatever. But one thing we should all agree, that this dude is not a leader of men, man. He just does not have that head coach potential for the New York Football Giants. Corey Johnson says Bowen has led back-to-back 30 points on his defense. He got to go. Yeah. Yep. That's a fact. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Let's go now. My man Iman Perry is in the building. I see you.
It's all good, baby.
Iman Perry says, I stopped watching after 31-13. I don't blame you. Look, I'm looking at the TV, and the Jets got them one today, huh? We had the same. We damn near had the same record as the Jets. Sorry asses. Christopher Moody says, yeah, he definitely got to learn to throw the ball away. 100% correct. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. And this is not me trying to shit on Jackson Dart at all. These are things that he's going to have to learn. But these are things that I'm not going to ignore either. H-Town says, have to find a real leader that has integrity and his own accountability, and leadership makes sure to coach technique and execution, elevating talent, and maximizing a roster. That's a fact. That is a fact. I'm with you. I'm with you. Let me see. My man Dennis says, Dart forces the issue because he wants to win that bad. I like it, but it kills us too. Yeah, and this is the thing, man. This is the thing. You can't want it so bad that you start losing this. You start losing the mental aspect of the game. I mean, think about Tom Brady. Tom Brady definitely wanted to win, right? Tom Brady definitely was always in the game as long as time was on the clock. But the reason as to why is because while everybody tried to speed up in critical moments, things slowed down for Tom. His preparation took over. And he was smart in a moment where most quarterbacks react the way that we're talking about here. That is how you win games in a late game stretch, or when you're down. Is when you're down and the pressure is on, are you still going to mentally be sharp? And that's an element of being a quarterback that you got to understand. So don't want to win so bad that you lack football intelligence. Want to win so bad that your IQ raises in the heat of the moment. H-Town calling for Tom Coughlin. Yeah, those good times, man. Good times for sure. CFA agreeing with me. Money Mike says entire coaching staff needs to be fired. I don't know what we are waiting for. I honestly believe the holdup really, man, is with John Mara dealing with his cancer battle. I would assume that's really being the holdup to a lot of things, man. And maybe as to why no major moves are happening, and we may see something, in the off season or something. I don't know, or late in the season. I don't know. King Jurors says Dable needs to go. Dart's going to be good without Dable. Dart is a baller. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. Money Mike says over and over and over, like, nah, bro, pack this coaching staff up. They are not it. Point blank. That is a fact. I'm with you. I am with you. H-Town says ownership has to give walking papers as soon as they get off the flight. Let Kafka run it for the rest of the season and keep moving, playing for a better staff. I'm with you. I am with you. CFA says trading Dex is wild. Yeah, that is wild. That is wild. Iman Perry says, ain't shit gonna change but the toilet. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Gary Hall says, even though your criticism of Jackson Dart is valid, sometimes I think that Dart feels as if he has to play hero ball because of the lack of talent and coaching. Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. We can't negate that as well. It is similar to Eli Manning, right, where we were so upset at the fact of how many interceptions he could throw. But the same reason why he frustrated us was the same thing that made him great. And I compare that to Jackson Dart, man. Like, how many plays have been made because Jackson Dart extended the play or played the quote-unquote hero ball? And so, yes, you have to – that's why it's so important for you to create a system and to develop your quarterback and for y'all to be on the same page, for y'all to understand, when it is time for that and when it is not. And, Jackson Dart also has to have the awareness at how he is carrying the ball or handling the ball in times of the game. So all of these things, man, are just coaching things. and coaching errors that is going on, man. But I'm with you 1,000%. That is a fact. That is a fact. And you can't be so mad at Jackson Dart Ford, especially in his rookie campaign. But it's just something that you know is happening, and you want to see it fixed. Gary Hall also says, I've been very impressed with Jackson Dart, even in losing efforts. Get rid of the coaching staff, bad players, and properly build around Dart, and the Giants' future is extremely bright. I could dig that. I can dig that for sure. For sure. H-Town says the staff doesn't scheme things to the roster's ability and talent. They force them to do things they shouldn't be. Deers and headlights out there. That's exactly, man. Exactly. Iman Perry says Carter shouldn't have been a 3rd overall pick. There's a way to use him. They don't know how. This is the thing. I think if we were to go back, man, and do the draft all over again, that's one thing. But especially in a moment of time, and we're going by, how things led up to what ended up happening. I'm not going to sit here and be mad at the Abdul Carter pick. But the second half to the sentence is what's more frustrating for me. There's a way to use him. They don't know how. What's disheartening for me is having the soldiers to really put in some pain and us not utilizing the soldiers correctly. We don't see enough of Tibbs, Burns, Dex, and Abdul being on the field at the same time. We don't see enough of all of them headhunting to go to get at the quarterback enough. We don't see enough of that. So, yes, a lot of people may be questioning and may be talking about the 3rd overall pick. I don't see it as such. But I do definitely see that second half of the sentence where that is, to me, the disheartening thing. That's the disheartening thing. Shout out to Rays in the building, says, we played the Eagles and the refs today. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I ain't ignoring that shit, man. That was absolutely terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. H-Town says, Jones looking like an MVP because the coaching staff schemes to his ability and run 12 and 13 personnel early and often. Shake my head. Giants needed that scheme today. Yeah, man. I'm for now, I'm not going to say I'm completely done. But I will say for now, I'm done pushing that point because people know. People who have been tuned in to me, they know. I've been saying this about Daniel Jones. It's on record. I know this is a thing that a lot of Giant fans are saying. A lot of Giant fans are acting like they was, on that Daniel Jones train all along, which is bullshit, which is complete bullshit because they weren't. They fell into the trap just like a lot of other Giant fans. They was talking so crazy about Daniel Jones just like a lot of other Giant fans. And again, y'all, this is what I love about doing this, is because y'all don't even have to believe me. Y'all could just go watch old videos. While everybody was over there trashing Daniel Jones, it's your guy who was never lying, sometimes defiant. I was putting a flashlight, man, on this weak-ass coaching staff. And then voila. The truth is revealed. The truth is revealed. Then you figure out, oh, man, Daniel Jones isn't that terrible of a quarterback that everyone tried to push in the narrative that was put out there. And it's bad, but even Daniel Jones, humbly and respectfully says, well, once I got exposed to what real coaching and development looks like, it opened up another element to my game, another layer of my game. And still you have Giant fans who just completely ignore all the signs Ignore all of that and still have the audacity to say, oh, yeah, go Coach Dable. We'll give you another quarterback that I know that you could go ahead and develop and turn this whole team around. Bullshit. Christopher Tony, the EA Joker says, hey, TP and everyone in the chat, this is very disturbing. Fire they ass, man. Giant salute to my guy, Christopher Tony, man. We with you. We with you for sure. We with you for sure, man. But I mean, all in all, this game was I'm gonna say what the comment earlier was a giant disaster. Was a giant disaster. We got our asses whooped in all phases, and this really just might be the turning point of the season, man, where you may start to see a tanking job coming soon, or a play on the field that looks like there is a tanking job. This might be that game, yo. Unfortunately. And it's sad because I don't want to hear about roster deficiencies and shit like that. No, the roster is there. And I'm saying the roster is there as far as the roster is there for us to have a better record than being a 2-win team. The roster is there for that. It's a fucking shame that you have somebody like Brian Burns who is playing like a madman. Playing like an absolute madman. And it's all going to waste. It's all going to waste. We have no wins to show for what is going on with Brian Burns' play. This man is actually healthy. And he's dominating. And we can't even fully utilize it. And in fact, there was a time when it was what? Was it 2nd and 30 something? I want to say 2nd and 31. And the Eagles hand the ball off. And they convert and they get the first down. Right after Brian Burns' sack. Yeah, fucking pitiful, man. Fucking pitiful. And that's what we are. That's what we are. But I'm going to say this, man. It's evaluating time. And I think that, you know, this is really the time, man, where Giant fans need to all make the push, man, of getting these motherfuckers out of these leadership roles. For real, man, because I don't see shit changing. I don't see shit changing until these guys are up out of here, man. That's just the truth of the matter. That's just the truth of the matter, man. Make sure that y'all like this stream for me. I do have to start getting ready for work, unfortunately. It's a shame, too, because I'm tired as hell. You know, and if I was a different person, man, maybe I could have just used this time as getting some rest than watching this bullshit. But, hey, man. It is what it is until it ain't, man. Again, like this stream. If you're new to this channel, man, go ahead and subscribe for me. We're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it short today, man. We're going to keep it short today. I don't really need to say much more, man. But I will be pushing out some content this week, man. Will be pushing out some videos this week. So make sure that y'all stay on top of that, man. And y'all keep rocking with me. Shout out to y'all for showing love. And, yeah, man, I will holler at y'all soon. If you're new to this channel, do not forget to subscribe. And until next time, of course, Fee-Fi-Fo-FUMM. Peace, y'all.
AKA lion, AKA tiger, how we swinging 9, walking through the fire, certified pioneer. Yeah. Keep applying pressure to the foes, going closer than I appear, closer than my dish. Yeah. Keep away the giant here.